Hello and welcome to The Grid on Sports Tonight Live. It does have a guitar-y intro soundtrack, but Slash didn't play it. On my left is Kev Shepherd, comedian, Formula One podcaster, and I've just found out, body double for Voldemort in the Harry Potter films.
Yeah, I've no idea why they chose me at all.
That's not me taking the mickey, that's actually true. How exciting.
That's true, it's very true, yes.
Ah, you've recovered well.
I've recovered well,
But,
yeah.
and we can say your name, we're allowed.
Yeah, you can say it. I'm not actually that evil.
Well, it remains to be seen over the next 27 minutes. Now, welcome to the show. This is your sort of firing on all cylinders motorsport show on this Tuesday, the 13th of March, controversially. Beware the Ides of March, the stabbiest day of the year. So, keeping you up to speed in our Speeders Digest this week. First up, we can reveal that Nissan will supply the engine for the Delta Wing car at the Le Mans 24 Hours, which was announced this morning. It's basically, this car is a cross between the Batmobile and a Reliant Robin. Extraordinary looking thing, but apparently it can turn corners without falling over.
Wow.
Which is going to be useful around La Sarthe come June. So that's big news. Also, at the weekend, Tony Stewart beat Jimmy Johnson by less than half a second at NASCAR in Vegas. We'd like to talk more about that, but of course we can't, because what happens in Vegas
stays in Vegas.
That's very true. And finally, in your up-to-speed news roundup, Alexander Rossi, not Italian, but American, has been named as the Caterham Formula One team's test driver for 2012. That's a... That's him on some kind of party boat thing going on there.
In his pockets?
Some kind of Nomex jeans he's wearing. He's currently testing right now for a full season of Formula Renault 3.5. He's the self-styled only American with a super license, and it looks like he might get to use it this year. So it could be time for him to give up the paper round. So that's brought you up to speed with everything we could find out about motorsport news this week. But Kevin, I know that you're particularly excited, as am I, obviously, that finally the Formula One season starts this weekend.
It's actually going to happen. I'm very excited. Yeah, we're all going to get up early and do something ridiculous, watch a race, or maybe not. If you haven't got Sky, you're going to be sitting at home,
listen to it on the radio,
twiddling your thumbs.
So it's been a long off-season. The teams will all be sort of arriving or well and truly ensconced in Australia now. What's the latest buzz from your perspective? What have you discovered?
Well, there's a few bits I've discovered. I mean, we could talk about that. We've got some tweets, I think, is probably the best way to discover what's going on.
Because lots of the drivers happily tweet away.
Yeah. I mean, some are better than others. Heikki Kovalainen, I don't know if we can get his tweet. There we go. Heikki Kovalainen's tweet. Lufthansa plane featured new lightweight seats. They're cool if you like to feel the knees of the person behind up your arse. I didn't. Well done, Heikki. I mean, that is Heikki. I mean, he's pretty much, he's like Cliff Richard of the tweet world.
What a great, he's exactly
for him
like
to say the word arse, he must have been very angry when that happened.
And also, what must be difficult for him is because he is so small. I mean, Formula One drivers are tiny.
Yeah.
He is so small. I mean, he comes up to about there on me, and I'm small. The thing is, he can't get payback. Even the tightest, even on Ryanair, his knees wouldn't reach the chair in front. So there's no way he can sort of pass on that
Pass
insult.
on the pain. Yeah, so there's him. Who have we had? Al Ghashwari. I don't know. I think he's going to turn out to be the Russell Brand of the BBC. I mean, he tweeted this picture for no apparent woman. No apparent woman.
No, there apparently is a woman.
Yeah, and her bum's on a helmet. I don't know how many times we're going to see this.
Have you become obsessed with bums? Because both of your tweets so far have got some kind of bum-related business.
Oh no, I'm going to have to oh no, I think I've got a problem. But yeah, he tweeted that. I mean, he works for the BBC. I'm not sure if he's aware of the PhoneGate scandal, but...
Also, that is a 2003 calendar.
Yeah, I mean, what is he doing?
The world and politics has moved on since those kind of calendars were allowed.
So yeah, look out for Jaime.
It looks like it's on the door of a toilet.
Yeah, I don't even want to
Jaime.
understand the connotations of him being in a toilet looking at pictures.
But he did
like
say
this.
something about his new job.
Yeah, he did. He said, "I'm at the BBC Radio 5 temporary because I want to come back to racing. The BBC was the only one to believe in me. Thank you." Oh, bless you, Jaime. But I mean, surely if you get a new job, it's best not to say, "I'm only a temporary until something better turns up."
Right.
So who else have we had? We have Nico Rosberg. He's still tweeting using a web team. He doesn't actually tweet at all. Right. He's got somebody else to do it.
I hate that. People who sort of have someone tweet
what
for
are you
them.
thinking? I mean, if a guy can tweet from inside a NASCAR, surely you can manage 140 characters. Just if not, don't bother. No change with Jensen. He's still tweeting the same things. I'm running. My girlfriend's running. I've just been for a run. Anyone want to come for a run? He's like F1's Forrest Gump. I know what love is, Jenny, or Jesse even. But yeah, so I mean, he's just still boring, Jensen. But bless him. I mean, at least he's had a run. I don't know
running.
Running.
Jensen,
Jeez.
run. You should get some T-shirts printed. Run Jensen, run.
Run Jensen. and run. So there's that. What else? There's been some other news. Lehman Brothers are going to sell their 15% stake in F1. So I've done an in-depth analysis into the financial constraints of this. What's basically happened is some corrupt rich dudes are going to sell their stuff to some other rich dudes to make the original rich dudes very rich. That's as concise as it needs to be.
That's the kind of financial insight we need on a show like this.
That's what you need. Robert Peston, move aside. But there is speculation some of the F1 teams are going to buy into this, which I don't think is a good thing, because then I have a vested interest in it. Then they're not going to be really looking out for the fans. They're just going to become like a lot of mini Bernies, and one mini Bernie is more than enough for everyone. Talking of the poisoned dwarf, he said that he's confirmed that the Spanish Grand Prix will split between Barcelona and Valencia, but more worryingly, he said that the French Grand Prix is coming back. There he is. Look at that.
Which one is he again?
he's the one. Look. He looks small, but even John Todd looks even smaller in that picture. That's what I love. But yeah, that's his daughter.
Todd of Todd Hall.
I don't know how that happened. I'm guessing a test tube and a donor, because she's not as ugly as he is. Anyway,
so France and Spa-Francorchamps, one of the best circuits.
The best Grand Prix, in my opinion, and many other people's, is now potentially going to split with the French Grand Prix. I don't know what. Yeah, but every year Bernie says something contentious just before it starts, like the cars are going to go around with balloons attached to the rear wing. I'm hoping that's the case.
Sprinklers on one corner.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's the case. Otherwise, I'm not too pleased about that.
It's like not having Monza.
I mean, why would you...
Or not having Monaco in the calendar.
It's crazy. I mean, apparently it's something to do with people not being able to afford it, but I'm sure we could all chip in. Yeah. Because we want to see that race.
Poor Bernie. He needs a bit more money.
He needs to die.
Controversial from Voldemort. That was the Horcrux.
Yeah, sorry, that was somebody
you said at the beginning you weren't evil, but you clearly are.
Clearly am. So that's that. Marussia have given a female driver a go at their test in Abu Dhabi. I got to get this right, Maria de Villota.
Wow.
There she is. I mean, can't wait for the calendar.
She keeps a Moët Chandon in a pretty cabinet.
Yeah, so I'm hoping she gets a better race suit.
That's not a Nomex dress.
So she's going to test at the end of the season. But you were saying something, because apparently you said something about female drivers getting grid boys.
Yes, in some championships, if you have a female driver in a car, then the gender politics dictates that they have a grid boy. Which I wholeheartedly approve of, and that's a great idea.
Lots of grid boys. I got stuck in a YouTube link once looking at grid girls. It's an afternoon I'll never get back. Anyway.
So, down to business, of course. They'll be practicing, qualifying, and then racing this weekend in Australia. Early hours of Sunday morning. If you at home watching this want to be part of our Castrol Edge Predictor League, we have our own league, the STL, the Grid League. So if you get in touch with us using this Twitter handle, then we can give you the link to join our league. Now, we've made our predictions. Kev, what have you gone for? First event of the season?
I've gone for first event of the season to be exactly the same as the last event of the season. Pretty much similar format. I mean, we've got Vettel, obviously he's going to win. Then I've got Button second, just because I prefer him to Hamilton. And then we've got Webber, because he'll obviously underperform. That's the way it is. And then Alonso and Raikkonen. This is what I'm looking forward to. I realised the other day, most of all, I'm hoping that an under-par Ferrari and a slightly improved Lotus means that those two are going to be fighting on the track a lot more. And I quite like the idea of that battle. So I've done that. Massa, just going to be disappointing. And then Rosberg, obviously going to beat Schumacher. And De Resta.
The rest of history.
Yeah.
Lewis's fastest lap is interesting. Now, I'm interested you put him as third. Let's have a look at mine. I think there's a difference between mine and yours. I've got Webber third, because he's, of course, in an RB8. I think he'll be quite quick. And Button, I think he's got a chance, because it might rain. I mean, there might be a bit of rain, in which case Button
they've predicted thunderstorms on the Friday, I think it is. Okay,
so the chance he could get up to first. And I've got Kimi coming in fifth.
Is that because of your rally associations? You think, I've just beat Alonso, that's the way it is?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think Kimi's got a really good chance. I think that car is going to be quick. You know, they've made developments clearly since last year, and I think he is hungry. He's proved in testing that he's still got it. And despite that, you know, when he did that snowmobile crash in December, and he kind of went, no, it was fine, he laughed it off. But he clearly had some kind of special doctor.
Proper scar.
Like an X-Man type doctor, just kind of put some bolts in there and got him.
Maybe it's the curse of Lotus. Everyone that gets involved has some kind of hand injury, but it looked, you're right, it looked really serious.
And everyone's going, yeah, we laugh it off. But he clearly
No.
broke his wrist quite badly. Now, we should be joined on Skype by Mr. Martin Yvan. Now, I've just come back from Monza yesterday. Yesterday evening I came back from Monza, and we'll talk to Martin in a minute about the World Touring Car Championship, which had its first event of the year in Monza at the weekend, and it was great to be in Monza. It's such an amazing atmosphere. It's the Cathedral of Speed in the middle of a park built by Mussolini. You know, it's like Martin was actually telling me, I'm going to steal some of his thunder, because the circuit was built 90 years ago in 3 months. The whole thing, including the grandstands, the circuit, everything. He just got everyone working on it, and they started motor racing there 90 years ago. And the touring cars was great, but Martin's a bit of an authority on Formula One.
Everything.
And he should be there
Life in general.
right now. Martin Yvan, are you there on Skype? Hello, sir.
Good afternoon, welcome.
Whoa. Martin, something strange happened to your sound there. Give us another test. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Hello, hello.
Ah, that's much better.
He's back.
Okay, was that one of your little spells?
Yeah, I was just a bit worried we couldn't hear
Expelliarmus.
Martin.
So, Martin, good to see you again. I was only on a plane with you yesterday. First of all, we were talking about Formula One this weekend. We've done our predictions on the Castrol Edge Predictor. What are you going with as the top 3?
Well, clearly I'm going with the winning combination.
Obviously, we know that. We just want to know if we've got
And
it right or not.
Well, I have been rather tediously predictable. I've gone for Sebastian Vettel to win it. I've gone for Hamilton second. And Alonso, I think, might have a chance of getting on the podium, so I plump for him in 3rd place. So nothing really that adventurous, I don't think.
Why? No, I think Alonso in 3rd is pretty adventurous.
I think so,
even they aren't confident in Ferrari that the car's going to be that good.
No, I agree. But
Quick, change it then.
You can change it up until 5 minutes before the race. I think he's thrown us a bum steer because I mean, what I love is the difference between Alonso and Massa, in your opinion.
Yeah, 3rd and 10th.
Well, you see, I think Massa will reflect where the car is, and that sort of reflects where Alonso is. And, you know, last year he got a lot of podiums with a car that really wasn't a top 3 car. So, yeah, it looks a little bit less likely this year, but if you don't have a punt, then you're never going to win anything, are you? So.
But I think we're all agreed that Vettel will win. Although I do think Natasha, our producer, had Button winning. Didn't you, Natasha?
Wow.
So we can't see her prediction, but she had Button. Do you think there's a chance of
Well,
that?
hang on a minute. Stick with it. There's absolutely no guarantee it won't rain, and if it does, then suddenly all of your normal predictions go out the window and Button becomes even more of a likely hero than before.
Okay, now leaving aside Formula One, because we've done nearly a part on that, the reason that you and I were both flying back from Milan Linate yesterday, which we almost missed because you took the wrong turning off the Tangenziale, to talk us through...
Hang on a minute.
Yes, I was co-driving in our little Fiat 500. Now, the World Touring Car Championship started at the weekend. Talk us through what happened. Any surprises, or is it scarily sort of same as last year?
Quite a lot of surprises, actually. There were some definite surprise performances from drivers who either underperformed last year or really drove out of their skins this weekend. The surprises started in qualifying, didn't they? Gabriele Tarquini on pole position. Chevrolet rather greedily hogged all 12 poles last year between their drivers, and Tarquini to go out and stick it on pole was a classic example of him taking half an opportunity and really making the most of it. In the race, of course, where he was in front and they were all behind, rather than them in front in qualifying where he towed up along behind them, it didn't work quite so well to his advantage. But clearly, Seat with a second new 1.6 litre turbo petrol engine, which they have developed, well, not exactly in-house, but with a different engine supplier this year. That engine clearly is a step forward on the one that they were using last year. And Tarquini may have turned 50, but he's clearly lost none of his edge, none of his fire. So, raced very hard and, as ever, very combatively. But if you look at the bare bones of it, yeah, Chevrolet dominated the podium again, and Yvan Muller took 2 wins. Took him 8 races last year to get a first win. And this year it took him one race and then a second race to get the second win. So he's definitely started the championship defence in the best way possible. And it does look obvious that at the moment it is the Chevrolets who will be the dominant force. So it may well come down to the Huff versus Muller battle that we saw last year.
Well, what I love about it, in other sports, certainly sort of in rallying, you'll often get team orders and teammates are not allowed to fight each other right from day one of the season. You see Huff, contact between Huff and Muller, Huff and Manu. Already there's beef within the Chevrolet team about whose fault some of those collisions were. So that makes it exciting despite their dominance.
Well, it does. And I mean, people often think back to 1986, for instance, when neither of the dominant Williams drivers won the championship, but because they fell over each other in races, it went to Alain Prost. And that's a classic example of the downside of letting two really good drivers race each other in the best car. Of course, Chevrolet have the advantage, they've got three drivers racing each other in the best car, so it does kind of spread the points around. But their advantage also is that nobody else is regularly winning races, certainly didn't last year. Whether that happens with Seat this year will be very interesting. And that's just, that's the first of a whole host of questions we've got after Monza, which we'll have to wait and see answered during the season.
Okay, and the season continues in 3 weeks in Valencia. But thank you very much, Martin Yvan. You're off to Paris now, is that right?
No, I'm off to London.
Okay, all right, well, that's where we are, so we might see you later for a beer. Cheers, Martin, thank you very much for the expert, and good luck with the Predictor League at the weekend.
Yes, I think I might need a bit more luck.
So that's Martin Yvan there calling us on Skype. We will see you after this break when we'll be talking rallying and more Formula One, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back to The Grid on Sports Tonight Live. Your mandatory pit stop is over. Let's get racing again. Now, before we move away from Formula One, for anyone watching who isn't a big fan of F1, say one main reason why we should watch or at least listen to Australia this weekend.
Because Melbourne is the first Grand Prix, a lot of people don't do their homework, so it's like the first day at school. Somebody is always going to mess something up, and it's just joyous to watch. Somebody will crash into somebody will be massively underprepared, and there's just a little bit of chaos, and that's why I love it. I really love it.
Someone will have to do it in their pants.
Someone do it in their pants.
Okay.
Someone will get a letter from their mum, sorry, can't race, feeling a bit sick. Yeah, so but it's just it's a beautiful race because I'm British and I like to see people that are very successful fail. That's the way that's the way I've always been. So it's quite nice to see who's going to fail. So somebody will inevitably fail in Melbourne.
Now, of course, if you want to get in touch with us, please do. You can tweet us at STL_thegrid, and you can ask for an invite to join our league for the Castrol Edge Predictor. But anything else, if you're involved in a motorsport that's coming up, an event, then get in touch and we'll feature you. You can come and join us on our Skype wall. In fact, strap in your seatbelts a little bit tighter because we should have Andrew Coley up on the Skype wall right now. Hello, Andrew. How are you doing?
Hi, Neil. I'm great. Thanks. How are you?
Yeah, very good, thanks. Now, you did a sterling job over the weekend on Rally Radio covering WRC Mexico. Well, it's an incredible event. I've been to 5 Rally Mexicos, I think, in my life. One of the most amazing places to go and watch rally. But you weren't necessarily there, were you? You didn't get to experience the festival atmosphere of Guanajuato.
No, it sounded amazing. No, I was in the World Rally Radio studio, which is in North Wales. We had a couple of guys on the ground in Mexico doing interviews at the stage end. So it was very odd because I was up till 4 in the morning, I think 3 nights in a row. So I had jet lag in Wales.
But none of the vitamin T based advantages, tequila, Tamaloga, and anyway. So give us the headlines. I know that Sebastian Loeb won, which is it wasn't a surprise, but it was sort of slightly disappointing for everybody else.
Yeah, his quote at the finish line said it all, I think. He came over the finish line and they said, brilliant rally, sum it up for us. And he said, I love this event, I always win here. which is cool, isn't it? I think it was his 6th time, so they've won it for the last 6 times, basically, with the C4 or with the DS3.
Yeah.
It was a dominant performance again, Neil. He also scored in the power stage. He's the only driver now to have scored points on all 3 power stages. And It's just another championship performance. Even when Sweden didn't go well, he salvaged something from it, and that, unfortunately, is what Jari-Matti Latvala for Ford is not doing.
Yeah, Latvala, who's incredibly quick, but one of his endemic problems, which he still hasn't shaken off, is that every now and again he just throws it off massively. And he had a big off, was it Sunday?
Yeah, it was. It was on the very long stage at Guanajuato, which was 54 kilometres. He was distracted by Yevgeny Novikov had crashed his car, and from where Latvala came down the road, it looked as though Novikov's car was in the road. That's my understanding of it. And he then lifted or braked mid-corner, unsettled the car and binned it. He was a bit unlucky. It was a small roll, but he put a kink in the roll cage. And if there is the tiniest bit of damage to the roll cage, you can't continue. So you can have a really shabby-looking car with all the panels dented, all the windows gone. If the roll cage is okay, you can probably continue. But unfortunately, it wasn't, and he had to withdraw from the event. So 0 points for Latvala in Mexico. And
a big disappointment there for Ford, because what happened they'd sort of had punctures and troubles on day one, and both Petter and Jari-Matti had been like down in 9th and 10th and just steadily worked their way up, hadn't they?
Even lower. I mean, Solberg was winning after the first stage, which was a DC Shoes Guanajuato street stage, an amazing show in Mexico. He was winning from that. He got a puncture and then another puncture on day one proper, the Friday. Latvala was then leading, and he broke his suspension. They dropped, I think, to 7th and 14th, and the fight back was unbelievable. And I really admire Latvala for pushing. I was a huge Colin McRae fan, and obviously that flamboyant, spectacular ability that Mäkinen had as well to just pull out an 11/10ths run is what Latvala can do. But you almost feel like he needs the monkey off his back of not winning a championship. It's almost like the pressure is too much.
So just finally, quickly, Andrew, is it ominous for the rest of the season in terms of lots of gravel rallies? Is Loeb going to walk away with it, or is there anything promising from the Ford team?
But both the Ford drivers are looking promising. It was good that the car was competitive at high altitude, which it hasn't been. But Petter Solberg, again, he is a world champion, of course, and he kind of put in more of a champion's drive. He got points on the power stage, he won the power stage, and he finished again. So he's continuing to outscore Latvala. Yeah, this isn't over yet. It's a long world championship, and as you well know, Neil, these are pretty random things that happen in these championships. So it's not over for a long way to go yet. Another 10 rounds to go.
And of course, Novikov's accident was huge, and both he and co-driver very, very lucky to be in one piece. It was an enormous crash.
Yeah, proper washing machine job. It was over and over and over, and yeah, they were very lucky. All of the World Rally teams are building very strong rally cars now, and it's good because the shunts are massive when they happen.
All right, Andrew, thank you very much. I think you and I will be working satellite from each other at the IRC this weekend, which is in Canaries.
Yeah, we were looking forward to that. Your money's got to be on Mikkelsen or Kopecky. If you want an outside bet, Alberto Heavier. He was leading Asturias a couple of years ago and ended up in tears when it all went wrong on the last day, but he's very quick on tarmac.
Well, very good. If you're not betting on the horses today, then make sure you bet on that. Thank you, Andrew, very much. Nice to talk to you again. See you next week, hopefully, or if not, the week after. So Andrew Coley there. Yeah, I'm off to the Canaries tomorrow, which is weird because it's a tarmac
Boring.
rally. It's a tarmac rally, which is on a dusty, hot, volcanic island, a Spanish island off the coast of Africa. You think that's perfect?
Why don't you utilise some
part of it? It's a tarmac rally.
Weird. You get to hang out with all the cool people, don't you? You get to hang out with all the cool people. Coley, Yvan.
With this nice picture of the Monte Carlo rally behind him. Now, on the phone, in a different sort of realm of rallying, we should have Tony Harris, captain, on the phone. Are you there, Tony?
I am, yes. Hello.
Hello, Tony. Great to talk to you. Now, you're involved in Race 2 Recovery, the Help for Heroes rallying team. Explain to us as succinctly as possible what exactly it involves and what you're doing.
Well, I mean, the main idea is to go and race the Dakar Rally next year. The same vein as sort of Walking the Wounded and the guys who rode across the Atlantic, we've set ourselves an immense challenge, and we want to prove that despite our injuries from Afghanistan and Iraq, we can go and fight with the rest of them in the sporting world. And the nice thing about all motorsport is that no one cares that you're disabled. You get in a car and you race just the same as everyone else. And while we're doing it, we're hoping to raise a lot of money for the Help for Heroes Tedworth House project.
It's a fantastic project, and I know that in your preparation for Dakar, which, by the way, Dakar is huge. Have you ever been to spectate? Have you been over to sort of watch it and be involved?
No. I mean, I've been watching obviously the recent stuff over the last couple of years when it's been over in South America.
Yeah.
And I know Andrew before. He's certainly tried out for the Dakar stuff, and we don't underestimate the scale, I suppose, of what lies ahead. But at the same time, there's elements that that we bring with us from our military background that I hope will play in our favour. You know, certainly dealing with difficult conditions, the heat, the sleep deprivation, all those sorts of things. I would hope to have a bit of an upper hand on following, 70 degrees Celsius heat in a warrior in Iraq. And then, we're using the next year, and certainly the next week, to really start preparing our racing capability, and also, most importantly, that mechanical sympathy that's required to take the vehicle to the finish.
Okay, and just finally, tomorrow you're setting off from Portsmouth to go and do the Touareg Rally, which is a desert rally. Is that your first chance to really see how competitive you can be and how it works as a team?
That's right. I mean, not only that. It's the first chance a lot of us, me, Tom, Barney, following our injuries, following our amputations, to be able to go and test ourselves in the heat in the desert again, and that'll be a big eye opener to see how what adaptations we need to make to the team. But you're absolutely right. It's a fantastic opportunity in a great country to go and compete against everyone else. And like you say, we've got some of the best vehicles to do it in the Wildcat, the QT Wildcat.
Yeah.
And some of our MIA sponsors and all the rest of it have produced some absolutely top-notch kit. The sort of suspension, the shocks, all that sort of stuff to go and really hit the ground running, I suppose.
Well, Tony, we wish you all the very best of luck, and we'll be watching your progress over the weekend. And if anyone wants to help you, sponsorship-wise or in any way, then tony@race2recovery.co.uk is the way they can get in touch with you. And good luck in Touareg. All the very best.
Thanks very much. That's right. Yeah, follow us on Twitter and Facebook. It should be some daily downloads.
Okay, and we'll make sure we talk to you afterwards for a report on how it went. All the very best.
Thanks very much indeed.
Cheers. Well, that's the grid has flown by.
Gone again.
So this weekend, just quickly, what's going on? Obviously, the Formula 1 in Australia, the IRC in the Canaries, NASCAR is in Bristol.
Boring.
All right, my lover. Not that Bristol. The Bovington Stages Rally in Bournemouth, and of course, testing continues in Formula Renault 3.5 and GP3. Kevin, thank you very much.
Thank you, Neil.
Voldemort, as I should say from now on. And
never say my name.
Of course, if you want to get in touch with us, please do at the Twitter address STL_the grid and join our league for the predictors. But most importantly, watch us again next week and tell your friends. But for me and Kevin, that was the grid on the 13th of March. Goodbye.
Goodbye.